We've already talked about the Soviet, American, and British vehicles in great detail. Now it's time to discuss the latest recruits. Today, we dive into Italian ground tech tree, which finally took its glorious final shape in the Supersonic update. The first rank is all about lightly armored tanks and AA guns like the AS-42 and the M14. Nothing out of the ordinary. What is unusual, however, is that the Italians can't boast much in terms of heavy armor, even at the highest ranks. This tech tree isn't about defense. It's about speed and firepower. The Italian machines are often very agile and pack a really mean punch with their cannons and guns that are perfectly capable of disposing of enemy machines. Starting from the second rank, the Italian tech tree shows its true colors. It has a lot of interesting picks for those players who are used to playing the glass cannon archetype, fragile vehicles with immensely powerful armaments. At this rank, you'll have your first run-in with the unbelievably fast R3 armored car, thanks to its power-to-weight ratio of 28 horsepower per ton. It darts around the map like a jet, and no, we're not kidding. On the other hand, at BR 3.3, it only has one 20mm Oerlikon autocannon with not-so-powerful shells, so it's best to focus on hunting down enemy aircraft and not trying to hunt down enemy KV-1s. No reason to be sad, though. Those who want to go tank hunting most certainly won't be left behind. The Semovente M41M da 9053 self-propelled gun is somewhat similar to the German Marder and the Waffenträger gameplay-wise. What sets the M41M apart from its rivals, like the Soviet Su-76 or the American M10, is the astoundingly powerful 90mm Canona da 953 Zivni, or Canona da 9053 cannon, which fires APC shells that pierce 160mm of steel. The only machine at these ranks that can compete with that is the British Archer, but its shells lack the explosive payload, unlike its Italian counterpart. However, the Semovente's obliterating firepower comes at a cost of weak armor, and surprisingly for the Italian tech tree, subpar mobility. Be careful, don't rush ahead blindly. Pick a good firing position, play thoughtfully, and The third rank follows the established pattern. Its vehicles are not of the forgiving type. They weren't built for carefree breakthroughs. So those of you who are used to the safety of KV-1s or the Churchill's armor might have a rough time adjusting. On the bright side, those who once again fight calmly and rationally will definitely prosper. If you like the German 8.8 Flak 37 SFL self-propelled gun, take a look at the Breda 501 armored car armed with the same 90mm cannon. Yes, it's terribly allergic to enemy gunfire, but it boasts excellent mobility and a great main weapon. That's exactly what a good tank destroyer needs. Furthermore, the power-to-weight ratio of the Breda 501 is miles better than what the German side offers. 22 horsepower per ton versus 13. Think of a maneuver, any maneuver. You can do it. Those who are fond of good old-fashioned self-propelled guns like the Stug will definitely take notice of the Semovente da 7546, and the tankers will be happy to see the familiar profile of the Sherman Firefly, which comes without APC or heat shells, of course. Don't forget about that when taking potshots at an enemy. To effectively eliminate tanks in one hit with a solid shot, you need to get really comfortable using it. You prefer self-propelled AA guns, eh? Here, take the M42. It's capable of dealing with both aircraft and ground targets. At the fourth rank, there's no drastic transformation or change of style. Rather, the Italian vehicles transform qualitatively. You like the Sherman? Now you get a Pershing. Things like that, and yeah, you'll finally be able to relax from time to time and rely on your mantlet. After the fantastic Breda 501, you'll get not one, but two armored cars with recoilless cannons. Remember that AA gun on the R3 armored car chassis? Yeah, the one that darts around the battlefield like a jet? Well, this time, the same platform comes with two recoilless cannons instead of one meek machine gun. Look at them. Their powerful anti-tank grenades can blast the turret off anybody. If only the ballistics were a bit more willing to cooperate. You'll get used to it. The self-propelled AA gun branch also gets a more than decent Sherman with a 90mm cannon, and those who want to purchase a handy and reliable premium tank for leveling up the tech tree or farming lions can take the legendary Pershing of Ariete Division for a spin. The fifth rank contains both familiar and very, let's say, Italian machines. First and foremost, this is the hunting grounds of the OF-40, a main battle tank based on the Leopard 1, and it plays fairly similarly as well. Weak armor, but good mobility, decent maximum speed, and a 105mm cannon that proved itself more than enough on countless Centurions, Patterns, and their continental relatives. However, unlike the Leopard, the OF-40 has access to heat shells with a penetration rate of 400mm. That's why it has a higher battle rating, 8.0. With this machine, you'll be able to hunt heavily armored targets like the IS-7, but please remember, you're not invincible. You'll still have very little armor and poor survivability. Sure, you can take down the IS or the T-10 like it's nothing, but so can they. Keep your guard up. Moreover, at this rank, you'll get acquainted with the Centauro wheeled tank, a marvelously swift vehicle completely devoid of armor. Probably not a surprise for you at this point, eh? Those who already got used to the unique dynamic of Italian vehicles and their devastating damage potential will certainly appreciate the 105mm cannon on this kind of chassis. And you, adepts of the Church of the ATGMs, rejoice! The M113 APC with a tow missile module is here. It's the last machine in the Italian self-propelled anti-tank guns tree. The last premium tank of the tree, the M60A1 MBT, long proven to be an all-around reliable machine. However, your first date with the M47 might turn out somewhat problematic. It has a truly beautiful 105mm cannon, but this kind of caliber came at a cost of 5 degrees of possible elevation angles. The cannon can only point down at -5 degrees. If you're used to playing the M47 around the landscape, you need to take a new approach. And finally, the glorious sixth rank. The Centauro and the OF-40 hastily moved to new battle ratings. Both machines get APFSDS shells, and so much more. The OF-40 now has a weapon stabilizer, and the Centauro has a few ERA modules on top of the turret. They will occasionally save you from stray HESH shells. But please, for the love of life, don't rush into the battle. Although by that time you've probably mastered the cautious but aggressive Italian style of gameplay. The AA gun tree will come to an end with a triumphant chord. May we introduce the Otomatic, a combat machine capable of eliminating all types of machines in the game. Helicopters and planes can be dealt with by using HEMOM shells. Lightly armored ground vehicles will get a merry SEPOM gift. And for heavily armored MBTs, the Otomatic has APFSDS shells with a penetration rate of more than 300mm at 100 meters. Alas, you'll have to count your shots. Your total ammunition load is very limited. Only 12 APFSDS shells and a few dozen each of the SEPOMs and HEMOMs. Make every shot count. And what's your favorite Italian machine? Tell us in the comments below.